All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Meet the New Members webinars. This is the second edition we are doing it in the new normality that we're living since a year, since March 2020. We're quite glad that we have 5 lovely companies that have joined the AmCham community over the past months. And we are delighted to have them all presented before you and before us today. The virtual format allows us to present them in a very concise but very informative way, and to foster the networking among members, which is among the priorities of the business network such as AmCham Bulgaria. So the event today will have 2 main parts. The first includes the presentations from 5 members that I mentioned earlier, and the second one will include breakout sessions with each of them discussing in detail information, exchanging contacts, discussing the weather, whatever you want to discuss in such an informal, friendly manner that we would like to design and to implement with you together. My name is Daniel Kyriakov and I shall be your moderator today. And without further ado, I would like to give the floor to our president, Olivier Marquet, who is right now based in France, Brussels. Olivier, help me out.
Greetings out of Brussels.
And he is with us today. Glad to have you, Olivier. The floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Danny, and thanks everyone for joining this session. I'm always excited and looking forward to such sessions where we meet the new members. Especially today. So we have 5 very strong companies. I'm particularly happy that it actually it covers a very wide range. So there are large companies, which you know very well, I'm sure. You have smaller company, US company, Bulgarian company. In terms of the sectors, I've seen, we have energy sector, IT, consumer goods. I see we have a leader in coffee and tea. So it's all pretty exciting stuff. We also have a marketing company. So I'm glad that it really shows actually the diversity of the AmCham community. And so I'm very much looking forward to meeting you all, looking at the presentation and getting engaged and getting started with this journey. Maybe before we start, just a few words on AmCham. Obviously, we're the American Chamber of Commerce, and so we have a very special relationship across the ocean with the US people, the US companies, the US administration as well. I think for us at AmCham, this year 2021 is a year of let's say transition and the new objectives. Obviously, there is a new US administration. We're going to have a new government soon in Bulgaria. I know we are in campaign mode. I think we have some very exciting initiatives that AmCham will be contributing to and leading, and I'm thinking specifically about the 3 Cs initiative. There will be, so this is an initiative which encompasses member states from many, so from Eastern European countries, from the Baltic Sea up to Greece. And so this is an initiative that this year Bulgaria will take the lead and organizing a conference to present the status of this initiative. And there are 3 categories of projects on infrastructure, digital, and energy. And so AmCham will organize a conference in the fall/summer, a business track that will gather many companies and officials from abroad, and then we hope as well to welcome some US official. And I know the US is particularly interested in this initiative. So these are the few words I had. I will just finish my introduction by wishing you to stay safe. I know Bulgaria is going through a pretty strong third wave, and you're not alone. I mean, I'm French, and in France, it's pretty much the same situation. Vaccination is going further, but obviously there are some concerns about well, one type of vaccine. So I really hope that this will get sorted out. And first and foremost, I mean, while we're out of this, please keep using the distanciation, the barrier, washing hands, wear mask. And if you can get vaccinated, get vaccinated. So and I hope we'll all make it through, and looking forward to meeting you live. I mean, I know it's going to happen at some point, hopefully sometime around the summer, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing you all in one of our next events. So with that, Danny, handing over to you back.
Many thanks, Olivier. Many thanks for your introductory remarks and the safety message that you delivered to our virtual audience and our members today. It's quite important, those 3 Ds that are famous, including vaccination if the vaccines are available, to be followed, and in order to bring our lives to some normality in near future, whatever that means. So the session is being recorded for the communication purposes of this event, because it will allow us, those members that are not being with us today, to see all 5 presentations all together in the coverage of in the webinar. It is the added value that we would like to bring to our membership and to you guys and to your companies and your brands. The companies are listed in alphabetical order, so we don't have A, but we've got B, and BCI is the first member that will introduce themselves, present themselves before us. We've got Nikolai Saikov, who is the legal advisor of BCI, which is a Bulgarian company established with investment purposes, as Olivier mentioned, in the area of energy, particularly RES, renewable energy sources, with a lot of PV, which means photovoltaic. It was a new abbreviation to me as well. Nikolai, I hope that you're ready and you will present BCI now. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So first things first, can you hear me in terms of our new normality? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep. Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So just let me start by sharing our presentation. Can you see it?
3, 2, 1. Yes, we see it.
Great.
Thumbs up.
So just a second to make it full screen. Is it full screen now?
Excellent. Almost.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a new application for me, so I'm not very familiar with its perks. So as you said, I represent BCI JSC, which is an investment company that specializes particularly in the renewable energy sources. We believe that renewable energy is more or less the future. The only question to my mind is what type of renewable energy will be the most dominant in the coming decades. We believe that the photovoltaic energy is better positioned than most in this area because it allows for a very good value for money return. And it's PV power plants are actually easier to maintain than some other type of renewable energy facilities. So as I said, we specialize in investment, whether it's investment done by us or with a partner company. Sorry. So basically, we believe that our services concentrate in 3 main areas: project development, which in my mind is the most important part. During that period, we have found that setting up special purpose vehicles, which means special purpose companies that own the actual the actual PV power plants, is the easiest way to go forward, actually. So besides the technical aspects of the project during this stage, you should also consider very strongly which land plots you are to acquire, because energy production from photovoltaic modules actually takes up quite a lot of land. And this is very important and perhaps the most difficult part of the project development, acquiring or leasing the land properties. Then again, you of course have the obtaining the construction permit stage, which is of course necessary to start the construction process as a whole. A more specific area in which we specialize is negotiating and closing contracts with both with the national grid operator and with energy trading companies. Now, these are important in our sphere because you can't commission an energy object, an energy producer, without having these contracts or pre-contracts signed. Now, after all this is said and done, and we can provide support in terms of the construction process, whether it's via technical planning or finding and negotiating with subcontractors, because construction of PV power plants is, I wouldn't say more difficult than other construction projects, but it does have certain particularities. So you need the contractors or subcontractors to be very well versed and experienced in this area. And this is something with which we can help because we have experience with a lot of both Bulgarian and foreign companies. After the projects are commissioned, we can provide services in terms of management of the already developed project. These can be either administrative, legal, accounting services, pure administrative services, or technical support, meaning operations and maintenance of the commissioned facilities. Now, generally, we think that the best way for us to cooperate with potential partners is either during the project development stage or after the project has started construction. Now, here you can see what we have done in the past. For example, we have, in one instance, we have purchased the project rights from another company very early on, and we have continued to develop and implement the projects. We established the SPVs, we acquired the land plots, we obtained the necessary permits and licenses, and then we started the construction process as a whole. This, of course, can happen at a later stage once the project is fully developed and all the licenses and permits are already acquired. Now, during the second stage, as I mentioned, we can help by negotiating and selecting EPC subcontractors for the construction phase, because, as mentioned, there are certain special aspects of the construction process as a whole. We also can provide turnkey services, which means that after we begin the construction process, we subcontract and manage all subcontractors and contractors until the commissioning of the PV plants themselves. So this is the full package, the beginning of the project right up until the commissioning. And as mentioned earlier, we provide administrative and technical maintenance during the operational life of the PV plants, which is more than 25 years, 25 to 30 years, depending on the PV module types. Now, renewable energy sources and producers have been a feature of our market for what, maybe 15 years now, give or take. However, we still consider the market to be relatively new and not entirely tested. And as perhaps some of you know, there are very frequent changes to the legal framework in which we work. So we believe that this is one of the spheres in which our competencies are very well enshrined. Our team has significant experience in terms of knowledge of the legal and administrative framework, meaning how exactly the administration behaves and how the administration actually considers the different legislative requirements, which is actually very important because you can very easily get bogged down in procedures and the entire project then gets fall down considerably. This is something that we can help with. We can also provide an economic analysis, of course, because as you know, due to the recent changes in the Energy Act, essentially the vast majority of the water producers are now on the free market. And these analyses are a necessity because you have to make do with what the market demands. We can also help with securing and negotiating about the financing of the projects, meaning negotiation with different banks, financing institutions. In this regard, we're very well versed in business case development. Another important feature is the status of the land plots, whether the legal status of the lands needs to be changed. This is also a very time-consuming process and a complicated one, and we have significant experience in it. We consider ourselves to be one of the leading companies in this regard in Bulgaria, and I believe that the successful implementation of several projects in the country, as well as development of others abroad, speaks for itself. Now, if I have time, I can share a few details about some of our projects here in Bulgaria, in short.
Yes, please do so.
Okay.
Shortly.
So this is the PV power plant Draganovo. This is our first project. It is located near the town of Kazanlak and produces about 30 megawatts of electrical energy. Now, these details are not important, I believe, for the present presentation, but now, as you can see here, this is our newest project, the PV power plant Kazanlak. Now, the first half of the project has been commissioned in 2012, and the second half in January 2019. So the entire project has 50 megawatts of total capacity installed, and it reduces the carbon footprint of the country with more than 93,000 tons. This is again the technical data of the project, and you can see of the first stage of the project. And here you can see that the technology changes fairly rapidly because the power output of our PV module has increased from 240 watts to 315 now. So this is a very significant change in terms of requirements for the pot size. Now, we can also provide the full scale of operation and maintenance services, which means 24 hours surveillance and monitoring of the PV power plants, security services as well. We provide with one of our companies. We can provide integration of a SCADA system, which which allows for remote operation of the plant, and it generally allows for much easier maintenance of the facilities. And here are some of our partners. As you can see, some of the largest companies in the energy sector, like SMA and Bosch, formerly, and ABB, Sungrow, are among our partners, and we have worked with them, and we currently use their technology in our projects. So, in short, this is our presentation.
Thank you so much. It will be available on our website as well, and the breakout session, our colleagues can ask you in detail questions, but indeed the PV plant in Kazanlak is quite impressive here. And respect to the work that you have done so far. And now moving forward, well, we will have the pleasure to listen to Ivailo Chukarov, who is country manager of Jacobs Douwe Egberts. We've seen their products on the shelves of supermarkets. We know probably most of their brands, but he has a special price, not price, but surprise for us, presenting all the portfolio that they've got as a global leader in coffee and tea production, with the leading brands in more than 100 countries globally. In Bulgaria, they're well known with their Nova Brasilia coffee brand, which is being manufactured, produced at the Kostimbrod plant. So, Ivo,
thank you,
are you
Danny.
with us? And the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. Then let me start. First of all, good afternoon to the entire audience. And Danny, you already went through the half of my presentation. That means that I will be very strict from the time perspective. Okay, to introduce myself, my name is Ivailo Chukarov, and I am currently on the position country manager of JD Bulgaria, which is apart from the global organization JD. What does mean JD? Jacobs Douwe Egberts for the Bulgarian people. Just a short joke. Try to type into the phonetic alphabet on your computer's JD, and you will see a very interesting abbreviation of the three letters, which is something very often we are joking, especially when we have some interaction with official authorities. About Jacobs Douwe Egberts, I will start globally, and after that I will share a couple of words how we are operating here in Bulgaria. Douwe Egberts, most of the portfolio and the brands with which we are operating on the worldwide sense are older than 2 centuries or something like that. Most of them are very popular, and for sure they are older than me, and probably they are older than most of us who are currently on that meeting. This is a couple of the brands which are most famous across the globe, and a part here I would like to underline just very quickly. This is the brands. Probably some of them are very familiar for you. Some of them not so much, but here I would like to say that the Tiora brand, for example, is one of the famous brands in the tea category. Just to mention that we are operating apart from coffee, also we are making business with tea worldwide. Our story, it's a very valid, and in couple of sentences we try to put our DNA. Our belief is that it's amazing what can happen over a cup of coffee. I think that it's relevant. A lot of things are happening over the cup of coffee. Good news, bad news, stuff which are on which we are enjoying, stuff on which we are sad. But this is the life. Our vision is that everybody deserves the coffee that they love. For example, I will do my best, and the entire team of JD, we will do our best and doing our best to offer the coffee to the Bulgarian consumers that they like to drink. Who we are the coffee democracy champions. We believe that we are, and we will strongly working in that direction. it's very critical for us, and it's very important, our values: simplicity, entrepreneurship, accountability, discipline, and solidarity. And here I would like to underline that this is not just a statement which are hanging on the walls in the office. We really trying on the work on the daily basis to embed them in our association. Our promise is that we will try to deliver a coffee for every cup. And apart from this is only additionally the business objectives that JD is having. Where we are operating around 44 countries across the globe, with 16,000 associates or employees who are working for JD. In 2019, our turnover worldwide was 6 billion. In the most of the market, or let's say in 27 of the retail markets, we are on position number 1 or position number 2 when we are comparing and zooming into the coffee category. This is something which is valid also for Bulgaria. JD here on the Bulgarian market, we are occupying one of the leading position into the coffee segment when we are talking for the retail environment. Just to mention here that I am currently excluding the away from home business, because we are not operating into the away from home business here in Bulgaria, or we call them this channel the professional channel. Worldwide, we are the second biggest company who is operating into the coffee segment, and we are doing our best to keep being challenger to our main competitor, and keep going forward, gaining our share and our position into the coffee world. Let's put it on that way. Very briefly, different innovation related with different systems, types of preparation of the coffee. I can say that we are one of the company who are driving the innovation, the new trends into the coffee category, which is normally because we are playing purely in coffee and tea category. What does mean? We do not have any different business apart from the coffee and tea. What we are doing is that we are offering coffee and tea products to the consumers across the globe. We have worldwide a professional business, which is representing approximately 17% from our total business. The various of business model, how we are operating in the different markets, direct, indirect. We have markets where we are operating with distributors or preferred partners. Particularly in Bulgaria, we are operating into the direct model. What does mean? We have a business unit here in Bulgaria, and we are dealing with the biggest retail chains in Bulgaria. The traditional trades we are covering with a couple of retail distributors for the territory of the Bulgaria. Very important assets, if I can say, the most important assets for JD is our people. We have a strong belief that the people are the critical for the success of one organization. We are trying to establish the culture of the entrepreneur. Everybody to be accountable what the decision is taking, and we try to keep the business as simple as possible, considering the size of the company, because we don't want to go into direction to start struggling from too many bureaucracy and stuff like that. Our promise or our commitment from the environmental point of view is that we are working till 2025 to 100% to source from the green coffee, tea, and plant. The other thing is that till 2025, our commitment is that 100% from our packaging material will be recyclable or compostable, which is in order to decrease the footprint from the operation of JD. And last but not least, as I mentioned, the people. The people are our biggest assets, and we are paying a lot of attention in various directions how to develop our people, not only professionally but also as a people and as a potentially future business leader. This was for JD Bulgaria, for JD globally. Danny, if you allow me, just very briefly for JD Bulgaria particularly. As I mentioned, we are operating here in Bulgaria with a business unit, but on top of that, as Danny mentioned, we have also production facility, which is located in near to Sofia Kostinbrod on the Bulgarian market. We are operating with 2 brands. Actually, they become 3 since beginning of this year. Nova Brasilia, the brand with 30 years heritage. By the way, this year is the 30th anniversary of Nova Brasilia, and we are planning something very interesting for the Bulgarian consumers. With Jacobs, we are operating since maybe last 15 years across the different segments: roast and ground, beans, mixes, pure soluble coffee. And since the beginning of this year, we enter into the single serve category, or this is the capsules, with our brand Lore. And I think that it's a beginning of one very successful story for this brand. Afterwards, during the breakout session, if you have some additional questions about Bulgaria and how we are operating or consumer behaviors, I am at your disposal. Danny?
Ivo, thank you so much. You made a global tour of JDE, and we're quite glad that we had sun in the beginning of the presentations. We've got a cup of coffee and a pot of tea, probably. And now we move forward with some another global brand that improved our life and probably determined our lifestyle. George Karpov is with us today from Procter Gamble, or P&G. George, I hope you hear me.
Yes, I can hear you very well. Thank you very much for this introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. And before I jump into the presentation, I'd just like to introduce our country leader, Alexandra. Alexandra, you have another floor, but the screen, if you want to add a couple of words.
Hello to everybody, and it's so nice to see you, to meet you. I was very interested in the presentations, and I took notes, and I have questions of understanding more. So I hope that you'll also find our session an engaging and interesting one. So thank you for having me in this forum.
Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you so much for having you with us. George, now the floor is yours.
Yes, let me share my presentation, and let me know if you can see it. Super.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. Without further ado, I guess pretty much everyone knows our brands, but before I share with you the few details about our presence in Bulgaria, let me immerse you a bit in the history of P&G. I think a few people know, some of our history about our history details. So it all started with Procter and with the William Procter, which was a candle maker, and James Gamble, a soap maker. They both came to Cincinnati. They married sisters, and they founded the company in 1837. The first product P&G put on the market was a candle in 1850. In 1879, P&G introduced Ivory, which is actually a floating soap built on the consumer insight that the soap is hard to find in the bottom of the wash tub. In 1915, the company started the international expansion with Canada. In 1930, we set foot in Europe via UK, with the rest of Western European countries in the following years. In 1946, we introduced Tide, which is the first heavy-duty synthetic detergent, making basically the expansion into a new category. Another iconic brand created by P&G was Pampers in 1961, and in 2004 we acquired Gillette. We also pioneered a lot of things, and I'm just gonna mention a few of them. New forms of advertising and marketing, from print in 1890s to radio in 1925, inspiring actually the name of soap opera, because we were producing Ivory, which was a soap, and we are advertising on radio. So that's how the soap opera was actually created. The name was created. We were also one of the companies to make profit sharing available for employees, making pretty much everyone an owner. A few details about our presence today, a few financial data. These are the global ones, not in Bulgaria, just to be clear. P&G operates in about 70 countries, and our brands are sold in more than 180 countries. In the fiscal year 2019-20, we had sales of roughly 71 billion US dollars, and we returned roughly $15 billion to consumers. Our portfolio is organized around 10 product categories and about 65 brands. These are categories where our product technologies deliver performance differences that really matters to consumers. Across all of these 10 categories, we are focused on meaningful and noticeable superiority in all elements of our consumer proposition. Products, packaging, brand communication, retail execution, whether we are talking online or in-store, and of course, superior value. About P&G Bulgaria, we have over 25 years of presence on the market. The company was established back in 1994, and in 2014, P&G Bulgaria becomes part of the SE cluster, the region. You can see on the map some of the markets, the countries on in our region. We are talking about 10 markets, over 1,300 employees, serving pretty much 60 million consumers. What I can tell you is that Southeast Europe has been one of the fastest growing region in Europe over the past 2 years. And this is a good thing for the development of the company and the partnerships we have with other companies and suppliers and communities as well. I want to talk to you, want to present to you a few facts about our citizenship efforts, because this is really important for us and it's embedded in the way we do business. These are our 5 pillars where we have chosen to focus our citizenship efforts. Community impact, which dates basically back to our earliest days as a company, having a positive impact in the communities where we live and operate. Equality and inclusion, very important as well. This began with ensuring our employees base reflects the diversity of consumers we have. But I can tell you that we've taken efforts beyond the walls of P&G, and there are several initiatives that help drive this agenda in our markets. Environmental sustainability, of course, which is very important these days, and this has been a priority for us for decades, and we've established actually bold goals with the growing global focus. And I will tell you a few details about this in the next few slides. Gender equality, our aspiration is to have 50-50 representation, and we have lots of projects promoting gender equality globally. And of course, ethics and corporate responsibility, which underpins everything we do. Ambition 2030, and this is where this is a slide about our sustainability strategy, and which has 4 vectors. Brands, the first one, we use the power of innovation and our brands to delight consumer and drive positive impacts and And just to give you an example, by 2030, all our packaging will be reusable or recyclable. This is an important step. Supply chain. We aim to reduce our footprint and strive for circular solution. Again, an example: our hair care plant in Romania, which also serves Bulgaria, sends zero waste to landfill from operations. On top, it runs 100% by renewable energy. Society, we create a transformative partnerships that enable people, the planet, and our business to thrive. And also employees, we engage and equip our people to build sustainability thinking and practices in their work and of course in their communities as well. All this, with all this, our intent is to advance a suite of natural climate solutions over the next 10 years that will pretty much enable us to become carbon neutral for the decade. This is pretty much it. If you guys want some more details about the company and about the things we are doing, I'm happy to provide more details during the breakout sessions. And I hope I stay within the time allocated.
Thank you so much, George. Indeed, you respected the time and the content was pretty informative, and many thanks for that historic and geographical journey that you have presented to us. We realized a lot, I mean, in a concise and very useful way. Thank you once again to be with us, and thanks for Alexander for stepping by in our virtual session. All right, we have to, same here. We have to move forward, and next in line is Zvătomir Doskov, who is the CEO of Sirma Business Consulting. That company is part of, actually, is joint venture between Sirma Group Holding, which is the biggest Bulgarian IT holding, and a team of banking and finance professionals with international expertise. So, Zvătomir, the floor is yours to present us Sirma Business Solutions Consulting. Sorry.
It's okay, consulting, the mother company solution, but we can see this a little bit later. Hello, everyone. My name is Zvătomir Doskov, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Sirma Business Consulting. And before start with the presentation, I would like to greet all the participants into today's online event and to wish the new members a success of this networking. Let me just share my screen with the presentation. Okay, into my presentation today, I'm going to walk you through some of the key achievements in Sirma Business Consulting. As well, I'll also try to give you a little bit information and to present some information about the Sirma as a holding company. And of course, what we do and what we have developed over the last 15 years, especially on a local and not just on the local, but internationally to the market. Sirma is a holding. Sirma was created by the several students in 1992. At that time in Bulgaria, there was not terms like startup, incubators, and investors, business angel, and so on. But anyhow, Sirma survived through the last 30 years and became a company that today makes something like 100 million in revenue per year. And all Sirma experts had been working in 185 countries through and participate in over 500 projects. Of course, how the Sirma holding structure is look like You can see here in the diagram, Sirma as a holding holds the control of investments at all of the companies in Sirma. And this is possible through our 5 major companies. This is the subsidiaries of the holding. And most of these subsidiaries actually was created and established in the range of 2006 and 2008. And nowadays they operate actively and also manage the rest of the companies into our ecosystem. Our mother company, this is the mother company of Sirma Business Consulting, is Sirma Solution. And the main role of the parent company nowadays is to be a hub of programmers and to provide technology help, and also they have a very strong team of hardware experts and helping us, especially in the hardware part of providing services. Sirma Business Consulting itself was created in 2006, and we launched the company with several individuals, mainly bankers with the background of banking, coming from Hebrews Bank, HB Bank, Biohim, and Unicredit. At that time, that there was a merger of all these 3 banks in the local market. And from the very beginning, we decided to focus first on our clients and providing them consulting services, and then to the solutions that they will need it. Of course, our vision then and now is to develop and maintain the best expertise, and especially providing core business systems and core banking systems. And here we are working with Oracle FlexCube, and around the Oracle FlexCube also we create a flexible ecosystem from our own products. Mainly we can discuss this later in the breakout sessions. Now in the time of 2021, we have and can provide a wide range of business analysis and IT services in different areas, especially in the financial service industry, to the variety of customers like banks, insurance companies, pension funds, leasing, and consumer lending, so on, etc. I don't want to put your attention too much in these slides. Most probably they're for the next breakout session, but the main focus of our business is business and IT consulting and platform system implementations and integration. And during the years, we develop a wide range of products and services. And of course, we are proud with very, very good customer base, not just in Bulgaria, but also in Europe and some of other continents. Of course, we did everything necessary to certify ourselves as a company, and also most of 90% of the staff of Sirma currently have the valid and up-to-date professional certificates. And we also have a very good partnership with some of the biggest brands in industry, and we are very proud of this. And finally, the brand of Sirma and the brand of Sirma Business Consulting is also well known in the professional organization in Bulgaria, like BASCOM or Bulgarian FinTech Association. And I can say that we are a reliable business partner and sharing the value of responsible business conduct. Least but not last, here is some business figures. Most probably, and the most important here is that we manage through the years the company growth smoothly and without stress, relying on natural growth. And currently, and also the last 10 years, we are proud that we have a very good profit and paying also dividends to our shareholders. So that's in very short what we are doing in Sirma. And I just like to finish my presentation by quoting the words of Mark Zuckerberg, who says that we don't start the communities. Normally, communities already exist. And the question to ask is how we can help the communities to operate better. Thank you very much for your attention, and I really looking forward to see you in the breakout session.
Thank you so much, Svetomir. Indeed, quite impressive presentation in terms of results, EBITDA history, and partnerships with local and global brands. Thank you very much for joining the AmCham community. Indeed, it exists here and it has to be fulfilled with content and new partnerships and new opportunities in order to develop the business climate and the digital economy here and in the region.
I believe in this, especially the digital economy is coming. In the banking, there is a new wave of open banking. It's coming on the market, and it's fully reliable on digital banking.
Yeah, indeed. And we are making a smooth transition from Sirma Business Consulting to SMSBump, a company of Yotpo. George Petrov, one of the founders, is here with us. And without missing any of the announcement that I have in front of me, I will give the floor immediately to him in order that, and because he has even the hardest task, because he's in between the last session and the breakout session. So, George, you have a challenge, but also an opportunity. Glad to have you with us. The floor is yours.
Sure. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny. As you know, finish last, start first. No. Okay. So, hi, everyone. I'm Georgi. Let me try to share my screen, and I'll ask you in 5 minutes if you see it. Okay. Okay, hope everyone sees it.
Yes, we do. And now it's full screen.
Thank you. Thank you. I can probably start with a joke. If you know, it's one of the top sayings of 2020 was, "Do you see my screen?" And the other one is, "You're on mute." And yeah,
Absolutely.
So let's start. I'm Georgi. I'm currently serving as General Manager and CEO of SMSBump. SMSBump is a pretty new company, and I'll give you a bit of more perspective in the next slides. So I'll start with the story because most of our business is actually story related and people related, and not that much of infrastructure, real estate, and so on. So basically, the founders are me and Mikhail of SMSBump. We are big time into the so-called segment of e-commerce technology. And we're doing this for the last 11 or 12 years. We both graduated from AUBG in Bulgaria with business administration and computer science. Super similar profiles together. We met in the university, and then we did some studies in the States, and that's how we decided that we want to do ecom tech in our future. We just saw a lot of things that can be improved and started small, lots of mistakes. We decided to finally found a company called iSense. We did this in 2010 and 11, late 2010, early 2011, and we started producing extensions for e-commerce platforms. Over the years, lots of mistakes. We actually grew our skill set a lot there. We hired over, at one point, we were like around 30 people in iSense, and we became, at that time, a popular vendor for a platform called OpenCart. That's everything I'm talking about is software and e-commerce. At that point, we decided that it would be a really great idea to join the software as a service branch. If you don't know what it is, it's basically anything that you might imagine nowadays that you do on the web, and then that you pay for it as a software as a service. And we decided to join this business model in 2015 and decided to launch a product called SMSBump. The idea at that point was not super clear, but what we knew is that we can add value by emulating what the email does, but do it with SMS. So we saw a lot of different scenarios where online merchants can use email, and we said, why not do it with SMS instead at that point. At that point, we also get acquainted and met with Shopify. Shopify is currently one of the hottest e-commerce platforms in the States. And 2015 that was not the case, but we got really interested by Shopify and their community. So we decided to build an app for Shopify and to integrate with them. And that's how we launched SMSBump. It was a super basic app that just sends SMS for Shopify and very limited capabilities. Also at that point, it was the time where the smartphones usage was just picking up big time by the introduction of and the Android phones getting popular, and the iPhones are getting mainstream. So at that point, we saw a lot of improvement of the SMS itself. By improvement, I mean the smartphones were starting to color the links. So if you put a link in the SMS, it will automatically color it so you can click it. And that was like a turning point. We decided to further invest in SMSBump, and in 2017 we completely revamped the product. And in late 2017 we relaunched it for Shopify again as SMS marketing and automation. I'll further in the next slide I will explain what does it mean. And once we launched it, we experienced a huge growth that we were barely able to handle because with very little data, we were able to convince the customers that that's something they need. And once they saw the results, especially currently the SMS is super strong with conversion rates. And once they saw what was going on with the SMS, the merchants were super happy, and they were sharing with each other on YouTube, on other popular platforms, their results, their conversion results by sending an SMS campaign with SMSBump, and they were sharing also their results with sending an SMS for abandoned cart with SMSBump. So this resulted in us with a super huge growth with a zero marketing and sales budget. Then a year later, we were already kind of a factor in the SMS industry in Shopify. And we were approached by various investors, mainly from the States, where our clients are 98% from the States. So various investors wanting to invest, to ask us move at least one of us, me or Michiel, to the States to get something like make it like $1 billion company in huge things and so on and so on. So we didn't actually conclude to anything that we like this, although some of the investors were super high profile investors, tier 1 investors. And at that point, we decided that we want to join forces with someone who already has all the operations in the States established, and we can join them together, and we can work with them together on that idea. At that point, we also got a local investor, probably a year before that point, we got a local investor called 11 Investment Fund, where they got a minor share from our company. So we decided it would be a great idea to actually join forces with a company called Yotpo. Things happened pretty quickly, probably for like a 3-month time since the first meeting. We were on a team building, the whole team, and one of their C-levels just said, guys, we meet tomorrow at your office. Is this your address? We said, yes. Okay, we're booking tickets now from the States, see you tomorrow. We're like, wait, we're on a team building. Can you cancel it? No. And so it happened a bit weird. So basically, me and Michiel had to leave the team building to see what's going on with someone from Yotpo flying from the States. And we knew already that they're a super successful company. So we said, okay, let's see what's going on. So we came, we had like a nice talks, walks and dinner. So at one point we decided that we'll go together, and ultimately they acquired us. I'll share a bit more details on the next slide. So what does SMSBump do? It's an SMS marketing and automation platform. What does it mean? E-commerce merchants, primarily in the States, they would install our service in order to first collect subscribers, compliantly collect SMS subscribers. This will be their customers most of the case, or their visitors on the websites in the rest of the case. And then they will do two things with these subscribers. They will first automatically retarget them with automatic messages based on the subscriber sections. So for example, a subscriber might be trying to purchase something, but at some point abandon the cart on the purchase, and SMSBump would retarget this customer and say, hey, why don't you get like a 5% off on the purchase if you finish this in the next 6 hours? Then we have like tons of other customer win-back automations and so on, and this all works on autopilot for our merchants. And the other use case is the one of platforms, campaigns where you would send a one-off SMS or MMS campaign to all of your subscribers. That's basically how it works. The SMS and MMS versus email is enjoying at that point kind of the sweet spot of being much more effective than email with much better conversion rates. It's still underused in the States. Huge projections ahead for the years coming in the States for the SMS itself. And at the same time, it's much better regulated of what SMS marketing means and what is spam compared to email. So the regulation being done by the carriers itself help us a lot to stay on the safe side, and merchants stay on the safe side of doing their marketing activities.
George, thank you so much. I have to interrupt you right here in order to have some time for the breakout sessions. And the story and the core business that you're doing is quite well received by the audience. The presentation along with our others will be uploaded on our website. Right now we have to move forward with the breakout sessions. I have to announce that in order to amplify the fintech and digital economy effect, we decided to merge the SMSBump and Sirma into one session. So my colleague Nadia will launch the breakout session in few minutes. Enjoy. Click the join now button, and looking forward to seeing you. Thank you once again all. I'm still speaking in English because we've got George and Alexandra with us as well. And final words. Thank you so much for joining this Meet the New Members webinar. I hope you like it, at least that you want to continue. But if someone wants to stay in the session that I have interrupted, please continue. We can leave that session to you, going back to other stuff. You can continue. Thank you so much. Let's leave that conversation here, and looking forward for some new opportunities to network and to build the AmCham community.